Mainstream media around the world called you a liar, a mouthpiece for a regime that, far from this war being about imperialism, this was a regime that was organizing mass rape as a policy, using Viagra and other chemicals to complete mass rape policies, the massacring of unarmed protesters, and you were basically a mouthpiece for air bombardment of civilians.
Well, in any position you take, there are two powers. If you have on your side, then you are proven as an honest party. The power of explanation and the power of prophecy. And we had both. After 8 years, everything we said to explain what was happening in Libya proved to be right. We talked about terrorism, extremism, tribal conflict, Western imperialist project in the country to rob Libya of its wealth.
But how does this excuse all these accusations?
And the power of prophecy, because we talked about what things would happen afterwards. The division of the country, the continuous conflict. And we have proven right on this front as well. As for the charges, which were three main charges, the air bombardment of Libyan cities, which was proven false almost immediately, and the international media had to admit, because they came to Libya, an air bombardment is not something you can hide. Secondly, the mass rape of 8,000 Libyan women. The country has been under control of our enemies and the West for 8 years. Where are the victims, and where are the convictions, and where are the trials? After 8 years, they haven't been able to prove any systemic rape of women during that time. And then you have the charge of killing 10,000 innocent protesters in the first 3 days. Where are the names? Where are the bodies? At the most, they have been able to come up with 25 people who were killed in the first few days. We say they were armed. Some people say they were not armed. But 25 people killed is not 10,000. Libya was one of the richest countries in Africa. Libya has been under the attack of the West for 8 years. It's supposed to be a democracy now, a happy country helped and saved by the West. Look at Libya now. Killing, civil conflict, tribal war, murder, terrorism, robbing of national wealth. What does that remind you of Afshin? Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Yemen. It's the same story happening every time. And some people still don't see it. For me, this is absurd. The truth is out there. And it really pains me that people choose their hatred against someone like Gaddafi or Saddam Hussein over the truth, over what is happening every single day for years and years and years. Gaddafi was very honest and transparent with us. People who worked closely with him, and he said this. He said to us, make no mistake, we are being punished for what we did not just for Libya, but for what we did for Africa and many other developing countries. We are paying the price for supporting Nelson Mandela, for supporting the black race, for supporting real politics of revolution. Gaddafi was happy to fight until his death. He knew he had many ways out. He chose not to go out. He was offered ways out, even by African leaders who visited him during the war. But he said if he goes out, the very ideas he fought for will die. In his death, his ideas will live. And I believe the ideas and the principles and the projects he led will live on and will come back with such power in the future.